share some
Morning,
thoughts
sir.
with you. And let me begin with this prayer. I think most of you are familiar with this prayer. Even if you don't have this in college, you probably had some time in your school time an introduction to this prayer. I begin with this because this gives the framework for what I'm talking about. This is a mantra, a Shanti mantra it is called. It is from Rig Veda, the oldest Veda. For thousands of years in this land, our ancestors have been uttering this prayer. What is this prayer? It's a prayer uttered by both the teacher and the student. Teacher and student together pray. They pray for each other and they are praying for 5 boons. I repeat, teacher and student together pray. They pray for each other and they are praying to God to bless them with 5 boons. Sahana Vavatu now is the word, root word, which says both of us. Different permutation combination according to Sandhi in all the 5 boons. Sahana Vavatu, O God, protect us both. The teacher is praying to God, O God, protect me and my students. The students are praying, O God, protect us all and our teacher. They are praying for each other, they are praying together, praying for each other, and they are requesting God to bless them with 5 boons. The first boon, Pehla O God, protect us both. For the student, the meaning is, O God, protect me from a restless mind. The teacher is very good, subject is very captivating, but my mind is restless. Then I cannot have any knowledge. So the student is praying to God, protect me from a restless mind. That means he is praying for concentration. Oh God, bless me with this boon of concentration. But the teacher already has concentration. Without that, he cannot teach. A restless mind will not allow him or her to teach. So, what is the meaning for the teacher? The teacher is praying, Oh God, protect me from laziness. We know as we become an experienced teacher, some of us become lazy. That's why the administrative system will keep changing the syllabus once in 5 years. One is to update with the latest development, and others to prevent this teacher from mugging up his own answers and teaching same thing for 10 years, 20 years, same notes will continue. He will stop learning. So the teacher is praying to God, protect me from laziness. Even if I know the subject, every time when I go to the class, that student is a new student. The same syllabus, but the student who is receiving it is new. He is the same student who was yesterday, but the subject I am teaching him today, that is new to him. So the way he has to catch it, I have to make sure he understands it according to his own way. So the teacher cannot be lazy. This is the meaning of the first boon. Oh God, protect us both. For student, protect me from restless mind. That means bless me with concentration. And for teacher, protect me from laziness. Sahana bhavatu, first one. Second, sahanau bhunaktu, that is the second boon. Sahanau bhunaktu, bhunaktu means nourishment, poshana. Nourishment comes in the dining hall. And what is the nourishment we get in a classroom? The nourishment we get in a classroom is knowledge. So the teacher and the student both are praying, Oh God, bless us, nourish us. Let this engagement nourish us both. This engagement of teaching and learning. May this nourish us both. For the student, nourishment means knowledge. When his ajnan is removed, because the teacher gives him gnan, this ajnana is removed. That gnana is a nourishment. Knowledge is nourishment because knowledge is power, knowledge is strength, knowledge is life. It nourishes him. For the teacher, it is slightly different because he already has that knowledge. Then what is nourishment for the teacher? For the teacher, the nourishment is the joy of seeing his student mastering the subject. For a good teacher, the real joy is not in his salary. The real joy is in seeing his students master what he is teaching them. I taught my student and see how he has mastered it. He has become so good now. That joy is the joy a real teacher experiences. Ordinary teachers, for them it is promotion and salary. They cannot even be called teachers. They are just clerks. For a real teacher, it is the joy of seeing the student mastering the subject. That joy fills him with the joy of seeing the student mastering the subject. That is the nourishment for him. He is praying to God, bless me with this nourishment. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. That is the third boon. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. O God, may we engage in this with vigor. May we engage in this with vigor. That vigor is the desire for knowledge, hunger for knowledge. Both teacher and student should have this hunger for knowledge. Only then they will be able to engage in that with vigor and they come out with a sense of fulfillment. A teacher should not feel tired after teaching. A good teacher doesn't feel tired after teaching. He's so happy. You see that boy, that girl, she understood. And I could connect with him. I could connect with her. They understood this. That joy will give him that much energy. And he should enter into a classroom with that positive mindset. I will be able to contribute something to my students today. I will do this. I'll make them catch these ideas. And the students also should come to the classroom with this hunger for knowledge. Jnanadaha, we call it. We have hunger for so many things. Hunger for name, hunger for money, hunger for position. A teacher's primary hunger should be for knowledge. And a teacher is not a teacher who has stopped learning. You cannot stop learning. When the Vidyarthis would leave the Gurukula after 12 years of stay in ancient India, the Guru would give them a final parting message. The final parting message would be a long one. One aspect in that is, Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Oh, my dear students, never stop learning and teaching. Swadhyaya is self-study. Pravachana is teaching. The Guru tells, you have learned here for 12 years. We have taught you. But remember this, never stop learning. You should continuously be in the learning mode. Continuously keep learning and continuously keep teaching. Learning and teaching should go hand in hand, especially for a teacher. One who doesn't do this, he is a betrayer of this profession called teaching. And unfortunately, in our country, it is becoming like that. Useless people become teachers. What to do? Unfit for everything, thinks he can become a teacher. He can become a politician. That is okay for us. But he should not become a teacher. The best minds in the country, land should become a teacher, not ordinary minds. Because the future of this land is in the hands of the teacher. Teachers are nation builders. Teachers are nation builders. From primary school to college. The nation is shaped in the classroom. Not by administrators, only by teachers. And I think you should not have difficulty accepting this word teacher, because I think some college lecturers don't like to be addressed as teachers. We are lecturers, they say. I address someone as teacher. They say, no, we are lecturers. What does that mean? There's an ego functioning there. You have learned something, you are teaching it to your students. Just because you're a college, you don't want to be known as teacher. It is a college ego, probably. Anyhow, this third boon is, may we engage in this with vigor. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Only then both of them will be energized. Fourth boon. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. May we both become Tejasvis. The student is praying, may we, the students and our teacher, both of us become Tejasvis. The teacher is praying, may I and my students, may both of us become Tejasvis. What is Tejas? Tejas is Atma Shakti, Anta Shakti, the inner strength, the inner potential in each one of us. That when it awakens, it is seen in the face. In our culture, we have this. क्या तेज है इस चेहरा में? क्या तेज है उसकी चेहरा में? I think in Hindi, that's my Hindi. In Kannada, we say ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಖಡೆ ಇದೆ? क्या तेज है? What is this tej? Tej is not makeup. And tej is not white skin, certainly. Tejas is the Antashakti, Atma Shakti, which has awakened. So the prayer is both the student and the teacher, they are praying by this engagement. What is this engagement? I am teaching mathematics. We are learning physics from our teacher. Our teacher is teaching us Hindi. Our teacher is teaching us biology. I am teaching zoology. Whatever the subject may be, may this teaching and may this learning, this process, may it make us both Tejasvis. That means it may and it should awaken our inner Atma Shakti, inner potential. Atma Shakti is the word. There is no English word for that. Anta Shakti or Atma Shakti Jagrut ho. Fifth bone. Ma vidvishavahai. Ma vidvishavahai. May we not have any animosity towards each other. May we not have any animosity towards each other. If the students come and say, why did this teacher not have some fever? Then we would have had holiday. Or if the teacher thinks, why did the students not go on strike? I would have had a holiday. Ill will towards each other means everything else falls. So what should they have? The students would have Shraddha towards the teacher. Students should have Shraddha towards the teacher. Shraddha towards their knowledge. Similarly, the teacher also should have Shraddha. Shraddha in what? Shraddha in the potential, in the capacity of every student. Shraddha in the potential, in the capacity of every student. A teacher should have this. You can never say, this is a hopeless student, useless student. You can say, I don't have the strength and capacity to teach and uplift this student. That you can say. But you cannot condemn any student, useless student. You can only say, it is beyond my capacity to teach this student. A great teacher should come. I can help these other students. This boy is beyond my capacity. So in that sense, you are not denying his potential. You are only accepting your limitation. I cannot teach this boy. In some other way, some other great teacher can teach him. So it is teacher also should have Shraddha in the student's potential, his inner capacity. These are the 5 boons that this great prayer is teaching us to pray. Unfortunately, we have this ghost called secularism in our country. This prayer is not taught. This prayer is not taught. Because it is in Sanskrit, it is not secular, you see. Does this prayer say, oh God, save us only, let everyone go to hell? This is a prayer which says, oh God, help us both to master this subject to become great people. The teacher becomes great by teaching. The student also becomes great by learning. Knowledge is sacred. The one who is teaching, the one who is learning, they both will be sanctified, but they should come with a positive frame of mind. And this prayer, Rigvedic prayer, uttered in this land for over 8,000 years, we have let it go in the name of secularism. So you please, at least if you cannot teach your students, your college or your own, this thing is very diffident, at least in your mind, you can pray to God. You can pray to God. That power which has created this universe we call God, Bhagavan, Allah. In our culture, we have so many names for it. Call by whatever name you want, but there is a power and intelligence which has created this universe, which has manifested as this universe. Connecting with that, which is my true nature. It is not sitting somewhere in heaven. It is my true nature. It is inside me. That power will be awakened when I begin my class with a prayer. When I begin my class with this prayer, then the engagement is at a different level. So I just wanted to begin with this. I repeat the mantra, please listen. Now, this is the first part. How to pray, we are not taught. I know some teachers, I have met many, who teach this. In Navodaya, it is taught. Where I am now serving, every year some 80 Navodaya vice principals and creative teachers come every year for training. And hundreds of school teachers from other places in India, Karnataka, they come here for training. Students also come. Some of them say, yeah, we chant this prayer, but they don't know the meaning. When you don't know the meaning of the prayer, there is no bhava. And when there is no bhava, it is not a prayer at all. It is just some Sanskrit words. Because you don't know meaning, there is no bhava in you. And without bhava, it is not a prayer. Without feeling, it is not a prayer. You have to connect with that power. And for that, you need feeling. And how will you have feeling when you don't know what you are uttering? So the first step is to understand the meaning. And the second step is to know how to pray. I cannot lead you now because this is not a session for that, but I'll tell you because you are teachers. How we pray in Vedanta is we visualize God in the center of the heart. This is known as the spiritual heart. There are Shat chakras, 7 psychic centers in the body, Shat chakras. These Shat chakras, one chakra is Anahata chakra in the heart center. There we visualize the presence of God. We visualize the form. If we are worshipping God with form, we visualize the form of God as seated in the lotus of the heart. Offer Manasa Puja and then offer this prayer. May this teaching today, I am going to this class, may this be a spiritual activity. Everything has to be spiritualized. You cannot say I am spiritual in the temple, in the church, in the masjid, and outside I am a devil, a crook, a hypocrite. Every activity has to be spiritualized. That is the message of this land. Nothing is unspiritual. Everything is spiritual. It depends on how you frame it, how you understand it. So with this prayer, I begin this session teaching as an enablement. I thought it was written as enhancement. It is not enhancement. Enablement is the word. Teaching as an enablement. Teaching as an enablement. That's my topic. I request teachers who have their video on to please also listen. Doing some other activity with the video on is same as telling, I will be teaching my students can do whatever they want on their WhatsApp. It is same as that. And that is exactly what is my point, because that will be a tragedy. We lose ourselves when we do that. You'll understand that now. So teaching as a enablement, that is my topic. Now, if I begin with this session with a question, let me ask you a question. It is a simple question. It can be unsettling. Ask yourself, I am asking you, who are you? I am asking you, who are you? What will be your answer? Please write down. Please write. If you have paper, pen, please write. Who are you? That is my question to you. Please do write. Because everything doesn't happen in the mind. And I have a reason in asking you to write, because then you will take a paper and pen in your hand. There may be some points here which may be new to you. We expect our students to note down points, but teachers forget to become students. A teacher is a lifelong student. When I address teachers, I see they keep sitting there as though they are ekagrahis. One time they hear, they understand, and they'll remember. I understand they have stopped learning. A teacher who has stopped learning is not a teacher anymore. He's a clerk. And learning doesn't happen like that. You have to put efforts. Please don't mind me talking to you like this. You may be senior professors and teachers. I don't know what you are. But a ground reality is a ground reality. Please write down. If I ask you this question, who are you? What is your answer? Ask yourself, who am I? You write your answers. Generally, the answer will come like this. Who am I? I am a lecturer. I teach physics I teach Hindi, I teach English, I am a professor of engineering. Again, I ask you, who are you? I am a senior professor. Who are you? I am a married man. I am a housewife. So many answers like this. Whatever you have written, you just keep it there with you. This is correct. What you are saying is correct, but this is not the full answer. This is only half the answer. If you have written, I am a lecturer, I am a college professor, I am so and so subject professor, and I am a husband, I am a wife, I am a mother, I am a father, whatever is that answer, it is only half the answer. Because there are two dimensions to our identity. There are two dimensions from which every human being functions. Two dimensions to our identity. And we function with these two dimensions, but we are aware usually of only one dimension, one identity. What is this two dimensions I'm talking about? First dimension, we can call it being dimension, B-E-I-N-G, being dimension. What I am presenting is an idea, seed idea given by one of our previous presidents of the Ramakrishna Order, Swami Ranganathananji. And this has been developed very well by Mr. V. Srinivas of Illumin Knowledge Resources, a company in Bombay, which is knowledge partners to Government of India. They are training the whole central government employees, whole of Indian Post, Indian Railways, Haryana government employees, now customs officers and PPCL. Across India, they do training. It is based on this message of Vedanta as interpreted by Swami Vivekananda. I am presenting the gist of that. So there are two dimensions to our personality, our identity. The first dimension is what we can call being dimension, B-E-I-N-G, being dimension. Who am I inside? That is the being dimension. Second dimension is the function dimension. Function, F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N, function dimension. What do I do outside? Who am I inside? What do I do outside? Function dimension. Inside is being dimension. Being dimension, function dimension. Now, please look at the answers you wrote. How many of them are from the function dimension? How many from the being dimension? You look at it. If you have written, I am a man, I am a woman, that is also not inside, it is outside only. It is not a being dimension. It is a function dimension. Most people, most of us, we live only in the second dimension. And our education today is dominated by this function identity, external, outside, function identity. My identity in society comes from the work I do. That is called function identity. This is the actions I do, this is the work I do, and my identity comes from this. Who am I? I am a sannyasi. I am a sannyasi of the Ramakrishna order. That is a function. If this is all my identity, it is only half of my identity. And if this is the only identity from which I gain meaning in my life, then I am not living a full life. It is a half life. A life determined, a life framed, a life constricted by my function identity. And this will never be a deep life. And this will never be a very fulfilling life because it depends on my actions outside. The whole narrative, whole functioning is in the world outside. What about the world inside? We live in two worlds, the world outside and the world inside. And the meaning I am now trying to get and what I am now gaining is coming only from the outside world. What is the meaning to my life? It comes from my husband, it comes from my wife, it comes from my children, it comes from my work, it comes from my 30-40 site, it comes from my car, it comes from the gold I wear, it comes from the chair I sit, it comes from the things I use, the branded shoes I wear. My identity and my value comes from the world outside. It is a very poor identity. If all that is meaningful for me, comes only from the world outside, from the work I do in the world outside, then I am only half alive. Because the inner dimension is neglected, it doesn't even matter. What subject I teach, what syllabus I finish, what marks my students get, that becomes important. And that alone gives meaning to my life, and joy in life comes from this meaning. It is a half alive life. Great teachers, transformative teachers, they function from their being. They don't function from their outside identity. They function from their being level. Being level and outside is function level. Being level, work level. Being level means inside. That is the shift I want to speak about today. Education as enablement. This shift from just getting meaning from the work outside, from our identity outside, to finding meaning also from what I am inside. There are many things that happens when we do this. Being identity, let me first understand that. These two functions, I'm telling two identities, being and function. Please note this. There are two identities, being and function. Who am I? What do I do? Who am I? What do I do? Who am I? I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Christian. That is also not who am I. That is also function outside. I was born into this family, therefore I am a Hindu, and I wear this tilakam, I wear this gerwa, I am a Christian, so I wear this cross, I am a Muslim, I wear this cap, I speak this language, I pray like this. That is also outside, that is not inside. That is function identity. All meaning, most of us, we get is from our function identity, outside identity, external world. Being is the inner world. Function identity means I am a teacher, I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a driver, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Christian, I am a husband, I am a wife, I am so and so, professor, I am an officer. All this is function identity. This comes from birth, the structures put into our mind by our culture, by the training I have received, by the training I have given to myself, by my degrees, and by my activities. Who are you? A cricketer may say, I am a batsman. Who are you? I am a batsman. Whenever I meet him, if I ask him, who are you? He says, I am a batsman. We know he's a madman. That is a function. There is a deeper purpose, deeper dimension to your life, to your identity. That is the being identity. What do we mean by being identity? This is the important point, please note. What do you mean by being identity? That is the inner identity. How is it defined? How to understand it? It comes from the values I live by. What are the values I live by? It comes from an inner clarity of these values. What do I stand for as a human being? What is my inner awareness? What is the depth of my inner awareness? This is the inner being. These values plus character, values become character, and this inner clarity of what I am, that together functions as inner being. I can go a little deeper to see if you can follow me. Who am I? I am a human being. If we ask this question, who is a human being? Our tradition gives this answer. Swami Vivekananda puts it like this. Man is a compound of animality, humanity, and divinity. Man is a compound of animality, humanity, and divinity. Pashutva, manushatva, daivatva. पशुत्व मनुष्यत्व दैवत्व तीन के सम्मिश्रण है मानुष. This is something not something new, not that Vivekananda discovered and put it. It is in our tradition. Traditional marriages, when they go to the astrologer, he sees this gana, rakshasa gana, manushya gana, deva gana. It is the same thing. Each one of us, we are a combination of these three. Pashutva, manushatva, daivatva. Pashutva is the level of animality. We are all animals, born animals. Animals. We may dress in suit, boot, but we are fundamentally are animals. Whatever may be the dress and language we have, we are animals. A person is said to live at an animal level when his awareness is said to be at an animal level, when his thoughts, his feelings, and his actions revolve around four things: food, sleep, sex, shelter. Food, sleep, sex, shelter. Whatever he does, it is to attain these four, to enjoy these four in a better way, and to protect these four. Nothing beyond this. He may be a double PhD holder and still an animal. Because all that matters to him is this: food, sleep, sex, shelter. Shankaracharya calls it Udara Nimittam Bahukruta Vesham. This is an animal level person. He may be very intelligent, animal. Very beautiful, animal. Very rich, animal, for all that. Nothing beyond this. This awareness is at the animal level. Manushatva, humanity level, only few people awaken. Only few people awaken to humanity level. Swami Vivekananda's Guru Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Jarman hosh hoyeche shei manush. He whose mind has awakened, only he can be called a human being. Awakened to what? Awakened to higher thought, higher ideals. A mind which has awakened to higher thought and ideals can be called a human being. Or else they are animals. And animals cheat. First identity of an animal is he cheats himself, he cheats others. A simple term in our students, children's lab, he is a liar or a hypocrite. A liar, a hypocrite. That is the animal level. And they will be dominated by their subconscious mind. Their subconscious mind decides how they think, what they feel, what they do. And they don't even understand that they are leading a very low level life. Because their meaning in life comes from their outside world, from their position, from their possessions. I own a car, so my value is so much more. I have a Benz car, so my value is so much more than others. A pathetic life where value comes from their outside possessions, from their outside engagements, from their outside positions, not from what they are inside. So this is an animal level person's level of awareness. To rise to humanity, Manushatva, he should have an awakening to higher thoughts, higher ideals, which will translate as higher actions, nobler actions. This will be possible only when we have a clarity in ideals and understand ideals and hold on, struggle to live by those ideals. Therefore, Swami Vivekananda says, if a man with an ideal makes 1,000 mistakes, a man without ideals makes 50,000 mistakes. Therefore, have ideals in life. Ideals means adarsha. A man with an ideal, adarsha, if he makes 1,000 mistakes, a man without ideals makes 50,000 mistakes. Therefore, have ideals in life. Now, please ask yourself, what are your ideals in life? Please write down. Those of you who still have, please write down. Right? What is your ideal in life? Please take 30 seconds to write. Do you have any ideals in life? जीवन में कोई आदर्श है? इस आदर्श के आलो में मैं जीवन व्यापन करता हूं. I hope that is correct. Do you have? Please write. What answers I get from the teachers who come here is, if someone asks for help, I will help them. If I will not harm anyone, these are not adarsh. That is not adarsh. Satyavadi ho, that is adarsh. We teach students to have 3 adarsh. And that not as a function, as a being identity. मैं क्या हूं? मैं कौन हूं? तुम कौन हो बेटा? मैं सत्यवादी हूं. मैं जितेंद्रिय हूं. मैं परोपकारी हूं. 3 identities. Who are you? Even in sleep, I wake up this boy or girl and ask, who are you? मैं एक सत्यवादी हूं. मैं जितेंद्रिय हूं. मैं परोपकारी हूं. That is आदर्श. If someone asks for help, I will not harm anyone. That is no clarity and that is not an ideal. Swami Vivekananda, he gives 2 ideals to Indians. Swamiji writes, renunciation and service, I repeat, renunciation and service are the twin ideals of India. Intensify her in these two channels, and the rest will take care of itself. Renunciation and service are the twin ideals of India. Intensify her in these two channels, and the rest will take care of itself. त्याग और सेवा भारत का twin, I don't know what is the Hindi word, twin ideals, आदर्श है. Intensify her in these two channels, and the rest will take care of itself. Whoever is born in this mud, in this soil, is an Indian. He may practice Hinduism or Islam or Christianity or Buddhism or Jainism or Sikhism, but he's born in this soil. A body is born out of this soil is an Indian. And Swamiji says, if you are Indian, you have to hold on to these two ideals. Tum Bharatiya ho, then you should hold on to these two ideals, Tyag or Seva, renunciation and service. What is Tyag? What is renunciation? It is not giving up family. क्या त्याग देना है? You have to renounce 4 things. स्वार्थ का त्याग, अहंकार त्याग, असत्य का त्याग, आलस्य का त्याग. You have to renounce 4 things. स्वार्थ, अहंकार, asatya, alasya. You have to renounce selfishness, egoism, untruthfulness, laziness. त्याग means bali dena. You have to sacrifice it. How do you sacrifice? How do you sacrifice? You sacrifice by doing exactly opposite thing. In Yoga Sutra, this is called Viparita Bhavana. Whatever you identify as selfishness, this itself will require one degree of growth. Or else people will not even know they are being selfish. They will not even understand I am being crooked. They'll think, मैं अच्छा ही हूँ, ठीक ही हूँ, practical हूँ. Someone has their speaker on. Please switch it off. We have in Karnataka, I'm sure it will be the condition across India, where the teachers' constituency election, one candidate paid 9,000 rupees bribe, and teachers, 19,000 teachers from Karnataka, Mysore constituency, they accepted, and that fellow won the election. How many crores he must have spent? I said, this is a national disaster. Forget Pakistan, China attacking us. We are rotting and dying from inside. A teacher who takes bribe to vote, will he have any authority, moral authority to teach the students? Tell them don't copy? He's not even a teacher. But this has happened across the state. Bangalore, Tumkur, it is 20,000 bribe they took. And they voted. And that fellow won the election. Teachers are ready to take bribe and tell this fellow, go loot my country. It is enough if I get 9,000, 20,000, you loot my country. And these are called as teachers? Nobody talks about it. This is even more dangerous than COVID. COVID, at least we will die. And this teacher will not die. He will kill 30 generations of students. If he works for 25 years, 25 generations of students he will poison. And that is the level of our teachers, animal level. Unless we hold on to ideals, unless teachers awaken to ideals, this country will not prosper. Forget survive. And teachers have no clue about ideals. Chalta hai attitude. Everything is chalta hai. That's why you were told, keep your video on. I refuse to give talks sometimes because I saw someone is walking, someone is traveling in a car, someone is sitting in a train. What a waste of time. And these are teachers who are eager to earn money, not eager to earn knowledge. So to rise to the level of humanity, I should understand what are ideals and I should struggle every day to live by those ideals, in the light of those ideals. And what is it that prevents me? Selfishness, egoism, untruthfulness, laziness. This is what prevents me from leading a good life, to become a human being. That is renunciation, tyag. Seva, service. For that, Swami Vivekananda gives शिव ज्ञाने जीव सेवा, शिव मानकर जीव की सेवा करना. Serve fellow human beings looking upon them as the Lord himself. You call it Shiva or Allah or Jesus or Rama or Krishna or Durga, whatever name, or Guru. Call by any name. There is only one power. Serve fellow human beings looking upon them as the Lord himself. In Karnataka, we have this Kayakave Kailasa. That comes only when you have this approach. It doesn't come by mere words. Work is worship. How does work become worship? Only when you have this attitude. So a human being can function at an animal level. He can also function at a human level. And a teacher has to rise to a human level. Otherwise, he is no teacher at all. Just subject domain knowledge expertise doesn't make him a good teacher. His being has to become rooted in ideals. Two ideals Swamiji has given, Tyag or Seva. When we hold on to this ideal, there is an expansion of heart. At the animal level, a person living at an animal level, he will be very, very selfish. I, me, mine. You look at his language, Nanu, Nanage, Nandu. I, me, mine. He cannot think beyond this. Only when he rises to the level of humanity, he'll start thinking about others. I and you all, I and we all, and slowly you and I, you and I. First you and then me. There is a flipping of that position, and he has started expanding. Swami Vivekananda says expansion is life, contraction is death. That expansion is expanding my sense of identity to include people around me. To include people around me. Their good is my good. That is a level of humanity. We can ask ourselves and we will know whether we are at animal level or humanity level. What is my concern for others? Yes, I take concern. I have concern for my husband, my wife, my children. That is not evolution. That is selfishness still. Has it expanded to include all your students, all your fellow teachers, and your whole society? A gradual expansion. Expansion is life, contraction is death. That expansion will help us to function from the humanity level, Manushatva level. At animality, Pashutva level, it is instinct-driven life. At Manushatva level, it is reason-led life. And as the mind becomes more and more pure, pure means as it becomes more and more unselfish. Selfishness is the chief sin, Swami Vivekananda says. Selfishness is the chief sin. As we become less and less selfish, the inner divinity starts manifesting. The inner divinity starts manifesting, and that is intuition. Pashutva is instinct, subconscious dominated life. Manushatva is conscious mind, reason-led life. Daivatva is superconscious life, superconscious awareness, that is intuition-led life. This journey from Pashu to Manava to Daiva, Daivatva, that journey is called spiritual journey. Going to temple, church, masjid is not spirituality, it is religion. Outside function. Spirituality happens only when I evolve from inside. ಪಶುವನಿಂದ ಮಾನವನಾಗಿ ಮಾನವನಿಂದ ದೇವಮಾನವನಾಗಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು ಅದು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಜೀವನ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is just religious practices. Now this is an understanding I thought I should give you before I come back to my topic. What was the point I was talking about? It is we function from the function identity outside world. We can also function from our inner identity of a being level. What are the values? What are the ideals I live by? This is just a beginning. It's still not spiritual level. Just this much itself is a huge growth achievement for the society. When I find my function outside is not connected with my inner being, what will happen? Teaching becomes mechanical. I teach because I get salary. I teach because I have to complete so many contact hours. I teach because I have to finish the syllabus. Teaching becomes mechanical. Work becomes tiring. Students become objects. I have to train them to mug up this and vomit in the exam and get these marks. And I have proved myself as a great teacher because my students have got so many marks and I am now eligible for a promotion. Promotion means more money, more power. Life becomes a survival, a competition with fellow teachers. Instead, when my being flows into function, something else happens, magical thing happens. Understand this point. My being should flow into my function. What work I do is a reflection of what I am. What function I do in the world outside is a reflection of what I am inside. Now it is not like that. Inside I am something, outside in the world I do something. There is a disconnection from my inner world and outside world. Many people are not even aware of their inner world. And if they are aware and they are not good, still outside they make a show of it. That is hypocrisy. Sri Ramakrishna says, God forgives every sin except hypocrisy. Ashad Bhut. Inside one, outside one. In our tradition, this is called Trikarana Shuddhi. Trikarana Shuddhi. Thought, speech, and action should be united. Three instruments, thought, speech, action. They should be united. They should be one. Sri Ramakrishna used to call it Mon Mukh Ek Kara. This is truthfulness. This is called truthfulness, practicing truthfulness. This is called honesty. Integrity is another word. How do I practice integrity? Integrity of my personality. As I think, so I speak. As I speak, so I do. As I think, so I speak. As I speak, so I do. Nenadante nudive, nudidante nadive. That is integrity, personal integrity. Andar or bahar. There is no duplicity. It is one. The being flows into my function, into my work. When this happens, there is a tremendous magic happening, wonderful magic. What is that magic? The work I do becomes contribution. The work I do becomes contribution. I no longer see it as a mechanical work I have to do to earn salary so that I get money and I live my life happily, comfortably. I'm working. Salary will come, but salary is a byproduct. That is not the purpose of my work. I'm working so that I can finish my syllabus. No, that is not the purpose of my work. My purpose of this teaching profession is to awaken, kindle that knowledge which is inside my students, awaken that knowledge in them. That is my contribution. The teaching becomes contribution when being flows into work, into function. And that contribution mindset will help me, will enable me to achieve excellence in work. When I have this spirit and I have this attitude, I want to contribute, automatically I will achieve excellence in my work as a teacher. And that excellence is yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna says, Yoga karma sukaushalam. Excellence in work is yoga. And then it becomes a transformation. The person who is receiving it, he becomes transformed because my life, my inner life is flowing into my work. Mechanical teaching is different. And when you do that same activity with your being flowing into it, your entire being flowing into it, it becomes an inspiration. And that inspiration is transformative. That is what we need from teachers. We need transformative teachers, not efficient teachers in their subject domain. And that transformative power will come when, that contributive power will come when you awaken from inside and manifest it in your work outside. I'll give an example for this. Some of you may know this story, but let us reflect on it deeply. 3 people are cutting stone pillars. Please listen. 3 people are cutting stone pillars. One person comes and he asks the first person, "What are you doing, my man?" He says, "I am cutting a stone. Don't disturb me. Can't you see?" Okay. He goes away. He goes to the second stone cutter and he asks him, "My good man, what are you doing?" He says, "I am making a pillar for a temple. They are paying me well. So I have come from my village and I am making a pillar. They are going to build a temple here. I am a stone cutter. I am a craftsman, artist. So I am doing this pillar for them. They have engaged me. They are paying well." I go to the third person and the third person is asked, "My good sir, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I am sculpting a pillar because we are going to build a beautiful building for God. We are going to build a beautiful temple for God. So I am carving this beautiful pillar for the beautiful temple where God will live." The first person who said, I am cutting a tree, I am cutting a stone, don't disturb me, get lost. Can't you see? He is a reacting function identity person. Reacting function identity person. I am cutting a stone, I am making a pillar. Can't you see? Are you blind? Get lost. The second person who said, they are paying me well to sculpt a pillar, they are going to build a temple here. I am doing that. I am a good craftsman. This person is also at the functional level. He is little more professional. He is not reacting. The third person who says, I am shaping a beautiful pillar for a beautiful temple which will be the home for our God. His inner being is flowing into his function. That inner being is flowing into the function. Same work they are doing, it is the same stone, they are using the same tools, but three different levels of awareness, consciousness. Only the third person's work is transformative. It is transformative for himself, it is transformative for the world outside. Though the excellence may be the same, because of the difference in the bhava, there is something else added. A charm is added to that pillar. Something more comes out when there is a passion, when there is an inner engagement with the work I do. There is a transformative impact on the world, that is the level of contribution. Similarly, there will be a transformation happening inside, which the first and second stone carvers will never have. The third person will evolve inside. This is the second benefit of being flowing into function. I repeat, when what I am flows into what I am doing, that work becomes a contribution. Simultaneously, that same action will help me to evolve from Pashutva to Manushatva to Daivatva. Two things can happen simultaneously. When I teach just my subject, because they are paying me salary, I may get salary, but nothing happens inside. When I teach excellently, I have finished my syllabus, everything, and students have also understood. Something has happened for the students. But when I teach, because I am passionate about this subject and I know the value of what I am teaching, it reflects what I am inside. It is reflection of my ideals. Then my students are somehow touched differently. Same subject, he also taught very well. But when she teaches, there is something else added to that. It is like the mother cooking. A hotel also may cook well, but when the mother cooks, there is some extra love added into that. That comes and that transforms the inner being of the student. Simultaneously, when my being is flowing into my function, into my work, there is an inner transformation happening. I evolve from Pashutva to Manushatva. Because it is no longer a work for earning money. It is a work for self-expression, a manifestation of my inner potential. This is the kind of teacher we need today. When being flows into function, I am telling again, there is contribution outside. Your teaching becomes meaningful. Your students are touched, not just trained, and your class becomes a space of growth. There will be inner growth, evolution happening in them also when you function from your inner level. Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam. And simultaneously, contribution outside is first. Second is evolution inside. You evolve. Teaching will no longer become a drain. You will evolve from Pashutva to Manushatva. If not to Daivatva, certainly to Manushatva, you will evolve. This evolution is what we call spiritual growth. Let me give one more thought on this being, because if you don't understand being, this whole talk will not make much meaning. Being means it's not simply values. It is lived principles, ideals which you are living. That is being. I respect every student and things like that. I value truth. I am unselfish. I am not egoistic. And I'm not untruthful. I'm always truthful. I struggle. Sri Ramakrishna says, in Kali Yuga, Satya Paripalan is tapasya. Whether you do upasam or you do this chanting or that chanting, you do namaz 5 times, you go to church every Sunday, you go to temple once in a blue moon or whenever you want, that is not tapasya. Real tapasya is being truthful. You may do all kinds of worship, and if you are lying, you think you will go anywhere? Real tapasya is being truthful. In this time, truthfulness is the real tapasya. Now, this is the identity as a teacher. As a teacher, I function from inside, and that inside is rooted, it is nourished by these ideals. This is the one aspect. As enablement, your own inner enablement. Unless you are enabled, you cannot help your students enable. I briefly touch on how you can enable your students. Teachers should function as enablers, not engines. See, some teachers become wheels. The outside is this thing, imagery we can give like this. If it is a car, the teachers are the front wheels, parents are the back wheels. And the students are sitting comfortably inside. Teachers are pulling them from front, parents are pushing them from behind, and the student says, okay, let me do what I can do. No. A teacher is not to become a front wheel or a back wheel. A teacher should be a steering wheel. If you are getting tired, that means you probably have to think and correct the way you teach. You are not supposed to just give them knowledge, give them information. Forget knowledge, we are not even giving knowledge, we are giving information. That is not a teacher's job. A teacher should be an enabler. He should awaken that hunger in the student to learn. He should train the student to see and learn. I don't have to teach him. I have to only teach him how to see, how to see, how to understand. He has to see and he has to understand, make sense, and engage with this world rooted in these values. I become a guide. I give him the correct direction, and I give him the knowledge to make empowering choices in life. Please remember, life is not a series of situations and circumstances. Life is our response to situations and circumstances. This is where I go to the next point. There are 3 tools. I have another 10 minutes. I'll talk about these 3 tools of enablement. Enablement for yourself and for your students. Enablement means what? Enablement means being flowing into function. What I am is flowing into my function. My function is not separate from me. Many people suffer from this. They find no joy in work because their being is different, their function is different. That's why I told those who are not listening, those who are not writing down, for you, it is already a separation. It is an activity for a certificate. I have to get this. Be done with it. No. Anything I do, my being is involved in it. My being should be entirely involved in whatever I am doing. That what I am doing, the function, should be an outpouring, a connection from inside. And when you don't do this, every time you don't do this, you're breaking that and you will lose that. Finally, work becomes something outside and I am something inside. A teacher cannot be that. If he is no longer a transformative, inspiring teacher. He is an ordinary, salary earning teacher. And he cannot be called a teacher. He is a clerk. Now, for these 3 tools of enablement, first one is identity. What kind of identity? Let me say like this. Identity enablement. We can call it identity enablement. It is, what is this? Please note this carefully. Identity enablement means, who am I? You said, I am a professor, I am a lawyer, I am a doctor. That's an identity, right? Freedom from fixed identity. Freedom from fixed identity. We cling to identities. I am this kind of a teacher. I teach like this. This is my style. I have picked it up over 3 years, 10 years. This is how I teach. This is how I talk. You're 10 years into teaching. Even closing your eyes, you know how this teacher will teach. When he's talking like this, his hand will go like this. He will do like this. He will do like that. And that becomes, those mannerisms become him. And teaching means his voice, his pitch, everything is like that. The way he dresses, he's fixed in his identity. I have seen some people, in our culture, we have this tradition when father passes away, they shave their head. Once I saw a man, he had shaved his head, but he had a mustache. I thought he looked very odd. I asked him, what is this? He says, my father passed away. I said, but you're not shaved your mustache? Oh, Samji, I don't feel like shaving my mustache. He's clinging to that identity that mustache gives him. Mustache babies, Swamiji used to call such people. Grown-up men, mustache babies. You cling to an identity. People cling to the kind of dress. They cannot change their dress. Who are you? I always dress like this. This is me. An identity which is fixated in the kind of dress you wear, in the kind of words you speak, in the way you express yourself, everything. This is what I am. And then society will reinforce that identity. Oh, you are this only. Fixed identity. This will not do good for people now because the world is changing fast. Jobs are disappearing. We are just reading Amazon has laid out some 16,000 people. Oh, I am an Amazon employee. I do this work. That is my identity. Now your identity is removed. What will happen to you? You'll collapse. You don't know what to do now. Roles continuously change in this world. Systems are collapsing. If identity is fixed, life will break us. So what should I do? Identity can be fluid, but it should be value-based, rooted in my ideals. This will enable us to adapt and contribute again. You will see some people at 60, they retire and they just degenerate. And some of them die within 10 years because their meaning in life is lost. I was a teacher, I was a principal. You talk to them after retirement, I am ex-principal, so and so. That identity is over. You still cling to that identity. I am ex-IAS officer. I am ex-MLA. Leave this MLA. This teacher stay. I am ex-principal, ex-professor. That is an old identity. You still cling. That only gives meaning to you. What a pathetic life you have. Your identity should come from what you are inside. And if that identity is rooted in what you are inside, it will every time find a new expression in a new form of work. And world is outside continuously fluid, changing. Our children should be taught to grow like this. Your meaning, your identity comes from what you are inside, not from the work you do. Work keeps changing. Today you are here, tomorrow some other job. You will see in your own college. Some teacher, he's a very good teacher. He's promoted as a principal. He's a terrible principal because he didn't learn to give up that identity. A principal's job is an enabler's job. But he comes with a class teacher's mindset. Sit, stand, do like this, do like that. He will be a failure as an administrator. You have to learn to have this inner identity fluid, but rooted in values, ideals. This is the first thing, identity enablement. The teacher should teach his students, her students, your value, your identity comes from your ideals. That is fundamental. One of our direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Swami Turiyananda, he used to say, in matters of principles, be firm like a rock. In matters of opinions, flow with the tide. In matters of principles, be firm like a rock. In matters of opinions, flow with the tide. That adaptability. Outside scenario keeps changing. I adapt to it. I grow. Why should I adapt and I grow? Because unless I adapt and grow, I stopped contributing. And without contribution, work is not going to give any meaning to me. It is not going to give me any joy. So this inner identity should be fluid, rooted in values identity. That is the identity enablement. Second one is, I would call it behavior identity. Inner identity change, that is one enablement. Inner identity means that values will be same, outside will keep changing. Second is behavior identity change. What do I mean by this? Most teachers react. This student is bad. This batch is hopeless. This administration is useless. React, 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 react. Why react? A student comes with one question. Chat, a teacher will react. Why? This question I have heard so many times, so many batches. Stupid question. He will react. Reaction is a habit. When you react, you are not engaging with the life in the present moment. There is another way you can do. That is called response. You can respond. And when you struggle, it is a struggle. Because every time you have to engage to respond. It is not an automated answer. Automated answer is habit, that is reaction. Every time a person, a student is asking something, it is an individual, a new individual. It may be the same question the other student asked in the previous batch, but this time it is a new individual. It's a new person asking that question. It comes from a different purpose, different intention, different understanding, different perspective. I have to engage with that anew. Though it may look like, oh, every time who will do this? It will make me be fully aware. Every student is unique. Even the same question asked by two students is not same because they both are different persons. When I engage like this, it becomes creative and there is joy in creativity. So it is a movement away from reaction to response. First one is identity should be flexible, adaptable, according to the new roles I may have to play in the society outside. Whatever that role, I am ready to take up and I will contribute there. That will happen only when I have rooted in my identities as values, not identity coming from my function. Third, this thing is a mindset change. Mindset change is from a change from victim to creator. Some teachers suffer from this victim mindset. What can I do? The system is bad, the syllabus is bad, the administration is uncooperative, so much load they have put on me. What can I do? That is a victim mindset. The creator mindset will say, what else can I do? How else can I do this? Yes, the system is bad. Yes, the syllabus is not that intelligent. But still, what can I do? What else can I do? That thinking, that questioning makes a difference. I have a choice. As I told, life is not a series of situations and circumstances. Life is our response to situations and circumstances. That response is enablement. It is a movement from victim to creator mindset. Every moment you choose your response, and that response that you choose will shape your destiny and it will influence the destiny of your students. I repeat, every time you make this decision that I will choose my response, when you decide to choose, you will start seeing options which were not visible earlier. Earlier, it was a victim mindset. Victim mindset will not even see those opportunities, other options. It will say it is closed. What can be done? Just to change the mindset and say, what else can I do? How else can I do this? Then you will find, you will suddenly see there are opportunities. There are new openings. And that creativity will start functioning again. So this is the third enablement. First one is identity should be flexible. Second one is behavior should move from fixed, routine, reactive behavior to response behavior. And the third one is change the mindset from victim to creator mindset. If you do these three, I think we will be contributing to building a great country. You first function, live from your being, function with clarity, and you respond, don't react to life, and don't complain. Create opportunities for yourself and make your being flow into your work. When you do this, you become a great teacher. You will learn, this is a process. You will learn how to live better, and your students will learn also how to live. Because what you are teaching them should not be just a subject knowledge. You should teach them how they can use this subject knowledge in the practical world outside, even if it is history, psychology. Can we teach our students to make sense of it and see how they can connect this knowledge, translate it into something outside, a work outside, which will become a contribution. Somehow contribute something to make this society, these fellow human beings' lives a better way. Give it a push-up. Can we improve things? I have this knowledge in chemical, in physics, in mathematics. How do I use it, adapt it for the good of society? That if we can teach our students, along with just teaching them a subject domain knowledge and forcing them to memorize and vomit it in exam and show their mark sheets, they come out, they cannot adapt. Circumstances continuously keep shifting in life. Father dies, husband dies, wife dies, children die. So many blows will come to us. A person with a fixed role identity, he will not be able to face it. He has to function from being. Outside will keep changing. And when he functions from being, outside, every time a challenge comes, he will adapt. But he will not compromise on his values. And when he adapts, he will continue to contribute in a new way, in a new position. A good teacher can also become a great principal, great administrator. Only he has to learn to adapt. That functioning will change, but he is rooted in his values. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Education as enablement for both the teachers and the students. I'll be happy to take one question, please. I have 3 minutes. I can take one question.